My name's Ella Baskerville. I'm Business Development Manager at Blooloop. We are the #1 news site for the visitor attractions industry. So we are covering theme parks, museums, FECs, aquariums, all sorts of different attractions globally. We do a lot of content, news, editorials, and we also do virtual events. We've just finished our Vexpo, which happened in October. So yeah, we just connect the industry up.
You are also part of the Young Professionals Committee at IAAPA. Can you describe your involvement in this program?
Yeah, sure. So I've been lucky enough to serve for the last 3 years on the Young Professionals Committee. Really, the aims of the committee are to increase engagements with young professionals and IAAPA, as well as seeking new opportunities for them to connect and really increase their presence across the industry as well. So I'm actually rolling off the committee this year. I've kind of done my time, but I've also previously moderated the young professional sessions that take place at IAAPA Expo Europe as well. So I was really lucky to share the stage with some really talented speakers at those events.
And over those past 3 years, what significant new developments in this program have struck your attention?
One of the biggest changes was the implementation of the mentor-mentee program. So the program itself has a mentee, so someone who is younger in the industry with an older professional. The aim is that they meet virtually throughout the year and kind of guide each other, whether it's talking about career progression or particular problems that they're facing in their work life. We've seen the program really develop. Applications have doubled year on year, and we're currently at the moment pairing up our 3rd year mentor-mentees. Another big thing we've launched this year is a new Slack channel for young professionals. So the idea is that this will be a space for young professionals to connect throughout the year. Obviously, the sessions at the different shows, they're great, but they are extremely privileged for people to be able to go to those shows. And the idea was this channel, we'd be able to connect with people throughout the year and also globally. You can talk to any young professional on there. Finally, the committee itself only became a committee last year. Before that, it was a task group. And that means that we'll be able to have more sessions at IAAPA in Orlando. So we actually had 3 sessions that were going to take place at the expo. Obviously, they all got a bit skew-whiff because of the virtual event. So we had 1 session at the virtual event. But it just means we have more visibility, more opportunities to educate and do more sessions for the coming expo as well.
Would you say the amusement industry offers very appealing opportunities to aspiring professionals?
I would. The biggest thing about this industry is it's fun. It's not like other industries at all. People have no idea that this industry exists. When I tell my family what I do, they just think I ride roller coasters for a living, which obviously isn't true. People aren't really aware how many jobs are in the industry and really how many companies are involved and how much money is in it. It's just fun. That's kind of the first thing. And when people enjoy something, the passion and energy that they have just really shines through as well. Also, the scope of jobs is quite incredible in the industry. For example, you might have a data analyst, and on the outside that looks like a really boring job, but it could be that you're analysing how many gallons of ice cream do we need today, or the feed for a giraffe. It's the context makes it really fun, and we have all of these job roles you can imagine in this industry as well.
I really like this example of data analysts because it provides a perfect transition to my next question. And in this very unprecedented market climate, are there also overlooked career opportunities for young professionals?
Yeah, I think data is going to be the biggest chunk for attractions. Certainly now that during the pandemic, a lot of them had to go online, whether that meant through content and things, but it just means they've had to overnight get really used to the idea of ticketing. Lots of museums that never ticketed before suddenly have all this data and what to do with. But it's also kind of working out how they can be cleverer with that information. If a museum can use the Wi-Fi, they can see the hotspots of their artwork in their exhibition, which is most popular. Then they can work out where did those visitors come from, and they can be more targeted with their marketing. So it's just about kind of being cleverer with that data as well. And so I think that's going to be a huge sector for young people. But I do think it's been a really rough year for young people. They've had the hardest time through the pandemic. It's really disproportionately affected them. The young people are often the bottom of the ladder, so they're kind of the first to go, but also they're on the front line in risky guest-facing positions, so they're more exposed to the virus. So I think it's been really, really hard. But I think a slight silver lining could be that there's been a huge shift in management. So lots of kind of older generation have gone off to retirement. And I think that might be slightly positive in a few years' time when there'll be more management positions available for young people to raise up.
That's a point I can also agree with. We've seen several examples of impressive career growth in this industry. And looking at those examples, what would be your advice to aspiring young professionals?
One thing I'd say is be curious. It's super competitive in any job, in any industry, but I think always learning, kind of bettering yourself, whether that's through certificates with IAAPA or other awards in the industry, but it could be courses or just kind of learning and keeping up to date with the news. I think just always be curious, and that will skill you and make you kind of top of the pack. Other advice would be bold. You know, if you want something, go for it. That's how I got my job with Blooloop, was just reaching out and asking if there was any positions going. So I think it really shows initiative, and it shows that you are passionate and you really want to work for that company. And I think, again, particularly now, they're not going to have open roles just on the website. I think reaching out, kind of introducing yourself, companies will remember that. And I think that's a really important thing.
Do you have a role model in this industry, someone that particularly inspires you?
So I think it's a bit corny, but it will be the two founders of Blooloop, which are Rachel and Charlie Reed. I work with them every day, but I'm always so impressed by them. They created Blooloop from nothing 15 years ago, and have built it up, whether that's through kind of business acumen. They're very clever at kind of knowing what to do next, never standing still. They're so busy all the time, raising 3 children and really growing it over the last few years. And they do this all with a really nice manner. They're very personal and approachable, and I really hope one day to have the same manner and management style as they do.
Just a quick follow-up question. How big is Blooloop actually? How many people are working for the company right now?
Sure. So we have 5 full-time members of staff and then 3 freelancers. We've announced Greenloop, which is our sustainability conference, and then we have some exciting things coming up as well. So watch the space.